Hello everyone and welcome to another LSJ's Late Review. It's Bond time again, as you can see, because this time I'm doing From Russia with Love. So From Russia with Love is a 1963 Bond flick. It's the second in the franchise. It's directed by a man named Terence Young, edited by Peter Hunt, who would go on to direct On Her Majesty's Secret Service in about 6 years' time. It's written by a woman named Joanna Harwood, who also wrote the screenplay for Dr. No. So the movie, of course, stars Sean Connery as James Bond. You've got other pretty good actors in this. Daniela Bianchi, Pedro Armendariz, sorry if I butchered your name, Pedro, Lottie Lenya, Robert Shaw. Oh, he's so good in this. And then, of course, you've got Bernard Lee as M, Lois Maxwell as Miss Moneypenny, and Desmond Llewellyn as Q. Also really fun is there's a small appearance by an actor named George Pastel. I recognised him instantly by his voice, and then when his face come up on screen, I'm like, oh my god, that's the guy from Tomb of the Cybermen, the Logician. So, yes, I'm always going to pick Doctor Who actors that I see in all sorts of shit that I watch, because I fucking love Doctor Who, sue me. So the gist of From Russia with Love, it's all about this cryptographic coding device called a lector. Russians use them, the Yanks want them, the Brits want them, and this evil organisation called Spectre wants one. And Spectre sets up this trap in order to lure in James Bond to try to get the lector so they could take it off him. It's a trap. Everyone knows it's a trap, but they send Bond anyway because the chance of getting one of these lector devices is worth walking into a trap for. There's some really great characters in this movie, which makes it memorable and worth rewatching. I'll first touch on Tatiana Romanov, who is the Bond girl in this one. Her performance is good. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just mostly a damsel role. She's being used by Spectre, thinks she's working for the Russians, to seduce Bond and help him get the lector device. She's fine. Not necessarily a memorable character, but we have a few guys and girls here that are much more memorable, and we've got Kleb, who works for Spectre but impersonates a Russian officer. She's this small, diminutive woman. Think of that older, short woman from maybe NCIS Los Angeles, I guess. Is she that woman still in that? Different woman, but that same kind of look. You know, you wonder why someone that small who needs glasses, like fucking Coke glasses, can manage to get into the military. But it doesn't matter. She's a really cool, memorable character. She's got knives that come out of her shoes. She's cunning. She's fucking evil as hell. And really, really good character. Some subtleties about her throughout the flick that I quite enjoyed. We've also got Pedro's Ali Karembe. There we go. Sorry, I'm not good with foreign names. Now, he's a really good character. He's part of intelligence in Istanbul. And Bond and him are kind of allies throughout the movie. He's really memorable. I really liked all the interactions between him and Bond. And he adds definitely another added dimension to the fun of this flick. But one man steals the show. It's not Sean Connery. He's good, but he doesn't steal the show. For me, what I love the most about From Russia with Love is Robert Shaw. Robert Shaw's Donald Grant. He doesn't talk much at all throughout most of the movie. In fact, apart from Spectre, who he works for, all the good characters and even the Russians, etc., they don't even know he's there. He's always in the shadows. He's always lurking around the corner, spying on Bond, spying on Tatiana, spying on Ali Karembe, carrying out brutal assassinations as he goes. He is intense. He is fucking amazing. When he does finally talk, it's when he's impersonating this English officer. And thank you, my wonderful cat, for the interruption. As I was talking about how spectacular Robert Shaw is in From Russia with Love. As I'm saying, like, when he starts impersonating an English contact that James Bond's supposed to meet, they both board this train together, and it's just so intense, just the interactions between Sean Connery and Robert Shaw. It leads to one of my favourite fight scenes in movies. It's brutal, it's nasty, it's aged pretty well, I will admit to. Oh man. Robert Shaw's character is by far one of my favourite Bond villains. He just has this presence throughout the entire movie. And Bond doesn't meet him until like over 2/3 of the way into it. So a lot of he's there, he's in the shadows, he's right behind Bond many a time, but Bond has no clue he's there. This guy's really dangerous, really sneaky, and cunning, and just brutal. I loved him. So for some reason, Bond bangs 4 women, 2 at the same time, all alluded to, of course. And you're like, why is that necessary? But they use this as a story technique in From Russia with Love. They build him up, of course, as this lady hound, and that kind of gets into potential trouble if the villains succeed with their plans and things. So I really like that aspect of it. Even though, like, between this and On Her Majesty's Secret Service, that's 7 women. I mean, that's a little, like, man-whorish, a little gratuitous, but, oh, it is what it is. I watched this with my wife, and she doesn't have a history with Bond. So she doesn't have any preconceived notions, except maybe they're a bit like macho and maybe a bit sexist or something like that. So she doesn't have a stake in it. She comes to these kind of fresh with new eyes. And I asked her, who'd you like better, Connery or Lazenby? She chose Lazenby because she thought Sean was a bit of a sleazebag in this one. And he is, yeah. But I think she preferred the more likable version of Bond in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. He's a bit of a prick in this one. And, yeah, I see that. If it feels like I'm cherry-picking my Bond films and just choosing ones that I really love, it's because I am. 2 reasons. One, I've needed cheering up in the last week. And a part of that for me is to maybe revisit some things that I've found much love for in the past, just to kind of bring me up a bit. Another reason is my wife isn't a Bond fan, and I really want to get her into the franchise. I'm not going to show her a View to a Kill or Moonraker or Tomorrow Never Knows or something shitty until, like, I think she's interested in checking them out. So far, she's liked the 2 I've shown her enough to watch a 3rd movie. And we have that planned. We're jumping around a bit, so if you expect us to do some kind of order, we're not. Unless we do the Daniel Craig movies. They'll be done in order. But From Russia with Love, I liked it a lot more than my wife did. She enjoyed it. I think she gave it a pretty solid score. But I love this movie. And sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes, this one's my favourite. 9 out of 10. Don't be surprised if you ask me in person what I think of Russian Love and I give it like a perfect rating. But it's an amazing film. It's well paced. It's kind of gritty, and there's some funny lines. Really good action set scenes, and it's just a blast. It's 2 hours, doesn't drag, always engaging, always interesting, always something happening. So I give From Russia with Love a 9 out of 10. There will be more Bond films in the future. Don't know when, but there will be. And that's about it for this LSJ's late review. Give me a like, dislike, share and subscribe. All that shit. Follow me on the Tweety Tweet. The link will be down below too. I mostly use that to tweet about wrestling and maybe show a gif or two of upcoming flicks that I might be watching. So you can watch it too if you want. If you haven't seen From Russia with Love, check it out. If you have seen it but it's been a while, give it another look. I think it holds up really well. And that's it for this week. This week? What do you mean this week? I'm going to do more this week. What day is it today? Who cares?